Yo, that bitch just gonna pick up like, oh, fuck you, yo. Yo, welcome to Jasmar's podcast with your illustrious host, Jasmar Jones. Mac Anthony in the building, nigga. Bleh. Yo, yo, I was listening to Afro Man. You niggas remember Afro Man? Cause I got high, yo. Matt got sleepy. Fuck you, B. He was gonna get high, but he got sleepy. Fuck you, B. Yo. Word. Throwing jabs, friendly jabs, yo. Like I said, welcome to Jazz Mars podcast. XTV been out of commission for a little while. Nigga, no internet access. But that's gonna change. We gonna hit up the fucking Bright House niggas on motherfucking Wednesday night. Call them up. I guess we owe some money or some shit. It is what it is. What else? What else? What else I gotta say? What else I gotta say? What else I gotta say, yo? Yo, during these times, yo. I mean, I'll just say like we in, what I'm saying, bit of a, rough patch. I mean, where like shit, we unable to work on some XTV shit, but fuck that shit. We working on Miami Beatdown, nigga. That shit is set to come regardless. We pushing this shit cause it's really gonna happen. I don't give a fuck if the motherfucker come next year. You know what I mean? Yo, like we working on this shit. We putting our heart and soul into this shit. So like, you know what I mean? It can be a tsunami, hurricane, nigga. As long as the data protected, we good. Yo. Miami Beatdown is we were just working on it like a few minutes ago. Um, but yeah, man, that's just it, yo. Hard times, but the hard niggas can go through it and come out harder. It is what it is, yo. Word, word. But, without further ado, on this podcast episode, yo, man, is this the first female guest? Nah, nigga. We had motherfucking cause I was thinking that as you said that, like I was thinking like, is this our first female guest? B. Hey, hold. But nah, nigga. We had fucking Ashley. Yo, forgot about Ashley. We had Ashley. I think we had fucking Dixie too. I mean, if I ain't mistaken, I think we had Dixie too. You know what I mean? We done had a few female guests in there, but yeah. Well, yo, um, she held down the women's championship for a little while. You know what I mean? In 2012, she came in this bitch and she was pretty good. She was good. She was doing the thing. Of course, ultimately the PS3 thing. Like we gonna get into it, Joe. We gonna get into it. Word, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight's special guest this morning. Please welcome Seanna. What's going on, guys? What's up, man? What's up, yo? Yo, give me a hug, yo. You niggas know each other? Yo, Funksy gonna get mad. Fuck you. Nah, yo, me and Sienna kind of go back. We should just walk him through it. Yeah. Walk him through the whole steez. You know what I mean? The whole steez. You haven't changed a bit, Jazz. Yo, I'm just being, I just be me. I can't change if I wanted to, honey. I can't fucking change. But, so CC, man, prior to coming into XTV in 2012, what was your life like? Well, I wanted to be a ballerina, all the girly stuff. Yo, and I understand this is that hard New York rugged stuff, so I'm not gonna get into that. It was just basically wanting to be, the girl, the average, valley girl, chilling with my friends at the mall, um, and that's just it. But it just got to a point where I feel like I wasn't challenging myself enough. I got an injury actually. I was playing soccer. I was doing a lot of sports in school, but I played soccer and I hurt my ankle, and you know, just the way the school was at the time, they didn't want me out there like doing anything. And all I did was break my ankle. Really, yo? Yeah, they just thought that, I don't know. I mean, now with this feminist movement, it got its pros and cons, but like people looked upon women as like too delicate, too weak, you know what I mean? She broke her little nail, you know what I mean? And they just kind of, it was just like that, at that time. They didn't want me, hurting myself, and I was this precious little thing. They didn't think that women can handle multiple things, so, it was that. And I just really wanted to find something that had no filter. Oh shit. You know what I mean? Something that was just like acceptive of all culture, and all you had to do was just be real strong throughout. And that's truly what I was searching for. And I couldn't really find that in soccer. I couldn't find it in tennis. I couldn't find it in none of the sports and different ventures I tried to pursue. So I looked into XTV, and I stumbled upon this by just simply, getting into the weird side of YouTube. Yo, word. So, I mean, what did you find? Well, I mean, if you guys don't know what the weird side of YouTube, it's just really going down a rabbit hole, of sorts, and you just like, you might search one thing and it may be interesting, but off the wall from what you normally view, and it just leads into this, into this, into this, to this what the fuck territory. And it was just one of those nights where, you know, I didn't want to wallow in my sorrows, so I was trying to look for some type of entertainment. And I found, what's his name? Fred. You guys remember Fred? Hey, it's Fred! Yo, what an annoying motherfucker. He was, I was watching his video, and it was really funny. I really enjoyed it. I watched it like 10 times. And, you could say I have a short, like attention span or something or whatever, but that shit was funny to me, and I used to watch him a lot, but after watching it 10 times, I finally got bored and I was trying to just get into something else, you know, and I just went down this rabbit hole and started watching videos with 2 views, 3 views, and slowly I started to see different, people playing video games. I started to see people playing WrestleMania, the arcade game, and you know, the hottest, the latest WWE game, and I just started to just find these things. Finally, I stumble upon XTV's Summer Break 2011. Word. Yes, and I have to say this. This woman, you guys know how Bailey is. As far as how she is towards Sasha, like really excited. I'm that way with Miss Foxy Hot. Oh, word. Yo, boo, you got a fan in the building. Yo, you got a fan in the building. um she was the first person that just captured me, you know what I mean? Just such a free spirit, and how she was able to dance, and just she's a very colorful personality. How people view the 80s guy, I view her. I mean, just seeing how she was, I don't even remember who she fought on the pay-per-view, but I just remember the excitement I felt just watching her, and just like it was almost like a spiritual connection, cause like she had my same energy. You know what I mean? That's why I did multiple sports. It's probably some form of ADD. Yo, I mean, I can't be still. I'm always just doing this, I'm doing that. I'm always doing multiple different things. But, when you're in a society that's just kind of has this view of women like, she hurt her nails, so she can't be successful in this avenue. And, when that's the mentality, you can't grow, and that's why I was happy to find XTV. I was happy to see Killer and DT and all of these guys being controversial, dark, but being themselves overall. And I found what I was searching for, on accident in a way, because as I said, I went through this dark side of YouTube. I just scrolled and searched, and the recommended tab, the sidebar, and all of that. It led me to seeing these things. It led me to see, Miss Pac-Man. That's probably who Foxy fought, by the way, on Summer Break 2011. Got to look back. And this was like a really a top-notch show, and I wanted more. I wind up subscribing to, I think that was XTV East Coast. Yeah, XTV East Coast. I wind up subscribing and just really, you know, becoming a fan of the culture. And I wanted to find a way to get into XTV. And what did you do? Like what steps did you finally take in order to get into contact with the higher ups to finally, get him placed into XTV? I would send personal messages to the East Coast, but around this time, and you could say even now, YouTube's algorithm and I don't know, I guess I can just say their ability to keep the small channels small. It was hard, but like I would send them messages, and it just seemed like every time I would send a message, a direct message, it would come back as sorry, an error occurred. Sorry, an error occurred. So I thought it was something I was doing on my end. So I would like do things like, say what I was saying because when I first sent my personal message, it was this big long email. You know what I mean? Like word. Yeah, like long message I meant, and it just said like, you guys are the greatest. Foxy is the best athlete. Like it was some real fan girl shit. And I went in, but like that's why I thought it was me. I thought I put too much stuff. It was really long, and then like I thought, okay, maybe I put too much things that was long. So I tried deleting it, but keeping the highlight parts, and then I tried condensing it and condensing it and condensing it, and it wouldn't go. But so it was like something I worked on every day. You know what I mean? I remember just writing, different ways to say what I was trying to say, but keep it condensed. And each time, like it was like this message has not been delivered. This message has not been delivered. It was a weird era that I was running into. So finally, you know what I mean? After many tries, it was one of those nights I'm not getting any sleep. I'm just drinking coffee, trying to send this message. I get in contact. I finally, the message is sent. You know what I mean? And then I wait like 5 days. Damn, yo. And I don't hear anything. So I'm, going through those emotions like, damn, you know what I mean? Here it is. I find something that I've always wanted to see, a culture I want to be a part of, thinking about all the nights that I had spent trying to get in contact with XTV. And, I'm just getting all depressed. Uh, but finally, I get a personal message. And, I'm just thinking like, one of my girlfriends call B. He sent me another video of Fred, or something. But then I see personal message from XTV East Coast, and I was somewhere that had that internet access, like an area that just didn't have, I was unable to connect to the internet. But I seen that I had that message, and I kind of sort of ignored it, like thinking that it was one of my friends. But then it was I seen XTV East Coast, and I'm like, is that what I think it is? And right at that moment, the Wi-Fi, like I couldn't go connect. Damn, yo, yeah, it's one hell of a story. And finally, we get to my house, and my internet is off. Damn, you know what I mean? Because the network was having issues, so the internet's off, and I'm like, damn it. And I tried to go to the library. It was closed. It was that library over there on next to Hillsborough High School and Memorial. And this was the time they were kind of like reconstructing it, and it was under construction, so I was unable to like go there and you know what I mean, like get on the internet. And I wanted to go to this one library, but it was ghetto. Word, word. It was ghetto. I mean, yeah, I get if you come from there. It was ghetto. You know what I mean? And I just didn't want to, because I remember trying to go there one time, but it's just how those guys acted. I remember it was a fight in front of the library and just how ghetto it was. And so, I'm just kind of like, oh, woe is me. long story short, or I should say, long story being shortened, I finally see that, get to see the email, and it's from Grandpa Joe. You know what I mean? And I'm just surprised, and he's just like, uh, how are you? I hope you're doing well. Thank you for this comment, and thank you for getting in contact with us. Um, my apologies. I've been trying to reply to your message five or so times. We're a small channel, and YouTube just may be fucking with us. Yo, and he just pretty much said, you know, he gave me his number through direct message. Um, I called him immediately when I got the number, and he answers. He's like, hello, XTV officers. And I'm like, hi, I'm Seanna. He's like, you the young one that's, and then I hear Mary Man in the background that sent that message, Joe. Yo, you sound just like OB. Yeah, I just never forget this. You know what I mean? How they made me feel, the chills I got, because at this point I started to discover more XTV. I started to discover Channel TXG. I started to see things like Funky Town, and like, where was I when this was created? You know what I mean? And I started to find these things, and I'm like, what? And I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe Big Trunks. I couldn't believe Killer, a legend. Forget what anyone says. Uh, I get that he's controversial, and I get that he hurts feelings, but people need to take themselves, and this is all due to respect to Miss Josie. A lot of you guys just got to take your emotions out of the situation and really analyze what he's doing. You know what I mean? This is interesting stuff. It's groundbreaking. It's hilarious. You know what I mean? It's funny. A lot of people, maybe not Miss Josie, but a lot of people try to discredit. I think you just saying that because you don't want her to turn to a fucking airplane and chop your ass up. Yo, partially my ass. Yo, you scared? Fuck you. But so yeah, Grandpa Joe, like I said, he gets in contact with me. He says, you know, we talk for a little while. Um, we finally get in contact with Grandpa Joe. Well, I finally get in contact with him, and he says, hey, young baby, what's your name? Hey, young baby, yo, wait, it's something deeper, yo. It's nothing deep like that, Jazz. Cut it out. So anyway, we get in contact. We go to Starbucks, and he's just, we're talking about XTV, and I'm just pretty much nerd fangirl out because I'm here with Grandpa Joe and Mary May, and they're just being there. You know how they are. They're the most entertaining couple in XTV. You know what I mean? Like, they're just good. They're arguing, but it's just so legendary. It's just like, I, the woman said she didn't want any coffee. So let her sit there, Joe. And it's just like, I watched this, and I mean, like, that's what I was saying. I watched a lot of XTV up to this point, so I knew the characters, I knew their style, I knew their mannerisms. And so here I am with Grandpa Joe and Mary May, and it's like being with Stevie Wonder and Bill Cosby or something. It's like being with, some of the best and elite guys ever. You know what I mean? And so they just kind of go through it, and they say, like, what can I bring to XTV? That's the question that they asked me. And all I could really say was myself. You know what I mean? I see that XTV is a very vast field. It's filled with a lot of talent and a lot of creative people. And at this time, this is like 2012. I believe they were coming up on Miami Beatdown. I think it was. I think they were either planning for Miami Beatdown, or it was happening. It was around this time. Uh, I think you came before that though, CC. Yeah, I did. Yeah, yo, you came before that. This was like, well, this had to happen before the 2012 game, the WWE 12. Um, but you know, they were saying that they were looking for a new XTV. You know what I mean? Because like truthfully, they weren't trying to be like, oh, what can you bring into XTV that hasn't already been brung to it. They were just saying like it's so much already going on, you know what I mean? We're on an up and up in a way because it's like FNK was still around, even though, the ratings weren't as good as they once were. Uh, it was that was going on 90%. Killer was doing his Killer comedy tour. Jungle Fever was being worked on at the time. The Cosby Show was really hot. There's all these different eras, and of course, wrestling and all these different avenues of XTV were already being explored. So they were trying to figure out, in what way to fit me in. And you know, since WWE 12 had came out, and that was a hotbed of rookies. Um, I mean, I know you wouldn't really consider Naomi and Dominique rookies at this point, but this is when I feel like they first started to establish themselves as single competitors as well as tag team, because they were kind of under the umbrella of Ada, but this is when they started to develop their own style, and a lot of other people, like I think, what's her name? Jordan Strong, she had came out around this time. So many stars in XTV, were starting to. This is when the rookies more so started to come out. We were seeing it in 2010 with Shamika, yourself, Jasmar, and Chantel, but this is when, this is that next wave of rookies. Because in 2011, there was not a lot of rookies. There was only really Kevon and I think the two twins, Shamika and Shaniqua. But this is 2012, and this is more rookies, I think. And this was like that next batch, and so I was in that. And finally, you know, I get accepted to be a part of XTV WWE 12, and I was nervous. So how was this? I mean, how was the locker room experience going to this, yo? J&W likened this to being an acid trip. Yo, you know what I mean? Shout out to J&W boss. What's her name? And this is almost like a critical review. Like the critics say, yo, and because I remember Dinah, I don't know if I'm allowed to say her name, I'm sorry, but she goes, I didn't, I thought it was like 30 people talking on XTV, and just all the guys that just ever said something about XTV and the experience of it, no one is wrong. Like it really was like that. When I first came to the locker room, seeing Killer and DT fighting like that, you know what I mean? And just all these things, it's like it's so much happening. Trunks just randomly, tatting and stuff like that, and Justin and all this. It's a good time. I'm like, oh my God, this is it. It was like being at Disney World with all the Disney characters. It was amazing, and I'm really thinking like I took a hit of something, but I've never really done drugs like that, but I just couldn't believe this, and I was really in awe at this whole locker room experience, you know, and, I was like, cause I finally seen her like in the distance, and I'm like, is that Foxy? And I'm like, oh my God, and I go up to her, I'm like, Foxy, I'm a big fan. She's like, hello, yo, that's my girl, B. And I give her a hug. She's like, thank you, chocolate cream. Don't make fun of my girl, B. And she's just so nice, and that has to be the biggest honor thus far in XTV, meeting my idol, you know what I mean? And her just giving me this hug where it's just like, you made it. You know what I mean? You finally found where you fit in. And it's this place, you know? And I remember bringing my friends there. They were blown up. blown out about the situation. Blown out kind of sound a certain way, Sienna. Shut up, Mac. Yo, you know what I mean? I immediately just think of like, getting abroad and blowing it out, B. You know what I mean? The pussy never looked the same again. Nigga, stop being immature. Did you pop me, B? But anyway, so I'm I'm just like I bring my friends there, and my friends are coming soon to XTV. We will get into it. This is going to be a big podcast. It is, yo. But it's just that it was a bizarre scene. They really loved XTV. Like that's all we talked about. Prior to this, we went to different concerts together, all kind of stuff. Shawn Mendes, Justin Timberlake, all kind of different things. But here we are, 2012, XTV. So much is going on. It's a hotbed of entertainment. You know what I mean? And here I am, you know, and I choose my music, and it's "We Like to Party" and by Beyonce. And I did my match. I remember coming out to the arena, and I got the chills, because like you just know what happens when you don't make it in XTV. You know how you feel. You know how the audience reacts. And it's just like you're hoping that that reaction isn't that reaction, if you will. And I come out there, I'm cheered for, um, and my music's playing. I can't hear the commentary because I'm just coming out there wrestling, and I don't even know who I fought in my first matchup, you know. But I just remember the feeling I got, the electricity, and I do remember winning. I just don't know against who, but I remember winning my first match, and I remember just my music. We like to party, and the audience dancing, and people pointing and cheering. You know what I mean? And I'm like, I'm one of the XTV guys, you know, and I felt just so incredible, and I was nervous. I gotta say, it took like 2 or 3 days to finally watch my match, you know, back, and to hear Bobby Classic sang my theme music. Cece likes to party, you know what I mean? Oh, I like her. To hear that, like, I lost it. You know what I mean? A burst of tears let her know she says, yo, Sienna's hip hop B. Yo, you know, and I cried. Like, and it was I got really emotional. Um, because Bobby Classic, Killer, all the guys that I have named thus far on this podcast, Jazz, everybody, like, you guys are really incredible to me, and I really look up to you. You guys are iconic, and to hear him, to get a hug from Foxy, all of this is happening, you know what I mean? Less than like a few months, and all the things that I went through, yes, but here I am, like it's always been like a family, you know? I mean, you didn't have that like that type of camaraderie during your soccer and your cheerleading and all of that, yo. Yeah, I did, but it's one of those things where, you know, like when I was doing cheerleading and all of that, like yeah, we're a team. We just do that. We work as a team. Outside of the team, we're not going out to bars. We're not, you know what I mean. We don't really relate to each other on certain things. You know what I mean. There's a few girls that we click up and we're friends, but overall as a team, yeah, we do good. And that was cool, but like it was different with this. These are people I could really relate to. Like everybody wasn't the same. You know what I mean? There was something for everybody. You know how you may go into a place and most of those guys are always the same? It wasn't like that. Like everybody was different. And you could talk to someone, you know what I mean, and find a piece of yourself in that person. If Killer's too dark for you, oh well, talk to 80s. If 80s is too light, oh well, talk to Charles Dean or talk to someone that meets you in the middle, you know. And to be friends with people like Miss Ada Vickers outside of XTV, is one of the best is one of the best things that happened, during this process. And yeah, man, it was amazing. So what's like the some of your notable things during this period, where you're in XTV? Well, I was in a tournament for the women's title. Um, it was myself, it was Jackie Z. It was a lot of girls. I think it was every girl on the roster at that time, and that was like the notable things. Me and Jackie Z getting into it. As a matter of fact, if you watch a lot of highlight videos in 2012 through 2013, shameless promotion, yo, shameless promotion. But if you watch a lot of those highlight videos, I'm in them. You know what I mean? And it's just that, like, I'm there, and I just like to look at those videos because I have nothing but good memories. NRJ smiles. So yeah, but during this tournament, it led me to XTV Mania. And you talk about a breakdown. Yo, XTV Mania 2012. You know what I mean? I feel like it don't get uh as big of a recognition because of 2013 just trumped it. I mean, that's when my homie Tavari Howard, shout out to you, homie. You know what I'm saying? That's when you was in charge. I know you remember this, B. You know what I mean? And you took this shit to Hard Rock Casino, and you fought the '80s guy in a classic. You know what I'm saying? So like I remember that shit, yo. I think that 2013 just really trumps 2012 XTV Mania. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but for me, being in that moment, 2012 trumps 2013 because I was there, and it's not to be selfish. It's just that you know um it was just amazing. It was a beautiful time to be in XTV, and just I just really enjoyed it. You know, and to just come out there being cheered for. Yeah, yeah, your music was different too. You didn't come out to we like the party. You came out to Whitney Houston. Yeah. Speaking of an idol, Whitney Houston passed. I want to say a few days ago. Prior to this event, and I had to dedicate it to her because this is a woman that my mother grew up on. This is a woman I grew up on, my sisters, and a lot of my friends, and this was a big loss. And not to get sad or anything, but like just bringing you to the time, it was a real sad loss. It's like even the way she was found, and discovered, like that's pretty sad. And then to learn, years later, her daughter, meets the same fate. Like, wow, what a coincidence. And that really impacted me. And I knew that, Whitney was watching. I knew it. You know what I mean? It's just like, and I let her spirit run through me through that XTV Mania. So I had to come out to my favorite song, I Want to Dance with Somebody, like, and that's exactly what I did. I had that incredible moment of silence for her, at the beginning, which I didn't think that those guys would do because we know XTV being a rowdy place, but like they actually let, me do that moment of silence tribute to her. I feel you, B. Yeah, I don't know if I said I fought Jackie Z at XTV Mania. Excuse me, I fought Miss Foxy. And that's another thing. I fought Foxy, like I fought my idol. And coming out to Whitney Houston, fighting my idol. It's like this was a gigantic moment for me. You know what I mean? Because like I think we fought in the tournament, and then I fought Jackie Z. That's what happened. But yeah, fighting Foxy, fighting my idol at Sides of Mania, coming out to Whitney Houston, this whole moment was very incredible to me, and this was like the highlight. And I'm like, it can't get better than this. And I don't even like to say that anymore. Like it doesn't get better than this because that's limiting blessings when you say that. You know what I mean? You're saying it doesn't get better than this. It actually does. It gets way better. This is only a portion of what's to come. But like we don't realize the negativity of our words. Not to get deep or nothing on this, but I feel that's just how I feel because I limited myself by saying that. Like it doesn't because I said that. I'm with my girls. We're cheering. We're chanting. You know what I mean? We're watching the footage over and over. But like, I said that it does not get better than this. And shoots, 2012, the things that just started to slowly happen, and what you lead into ultimately, you know, is the first incident of the computer. You know what I'm saying? It was like we lost a lot of projects, the Cosby Show, you name it. You know what I mean? It was a very big loss. How did this impact you, Sienna? You know what I mean? Being a fan of XTV, and being, I guess, now in the background and seeing the work that a lot of us do. It impacted me a great deal. You know what I mean? Because the year previous, I learned about XTV. Going down, like I said, that rabbit hole and seeing the Cosby Show. The killer's version, and just how amazing it is to date. You know what I mean? Like to date, it's still good. It still holds up. It's some great work by XTV. You know what I mean? I mean, some projects have come and gone. Like, with all due respect, the first Killer Comedy Tour. You know what I mean? Do we really remember how iconic the first Killer Comedy Tour was? We don't really. You know what I mean? I mean, it's still a classic, but it's not held up how the Cosby Show holds up, how the second Killer Comedy Tour holds up, and things like Reefer and Liquor and all these other different projects. These projects are fairly old, but still they're still amazing. They're still great works to look back on and be like, where were you when? So for the incident to happen, to get all those files deleted was very sad. You know what I mean? It really impacted XTV. When I say that's like our 9/11, you know what I mean? Our like our version of, you know, I guess catastrophic events. Like that's what that is. You know what I mean? It's really big. And it was really sad to happen. Because 2012 is one of those years that looked very promising. Like a lot of things that was happening were just like we're on a cusp of greatness. I mean, Yaki Generations that came out 90% with that classic episode with Ben Stiller. Uh, everything that was going on. Grandpa Joe was commissioner. Jungle Fever was dropping all the time. It was almost like the economy of XTV was just great. The output was just like constant. Like think about 2012, guys. Like, you know, our output was constant. Stuff was always being dropped. You know what I mean? If it wasn't Jungle Fever, then it'll be Cosby. If it wasn't that, it'll be Killer Comedy Tour. It'll be this, it'll be that. It was just going, 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 going. And finally, you know, something happens where we can't go anymore. And that was depressing. That was really depressing, you know. And to not have nobody to really talk to about that outside of course, XTV East Coast, it was really sad. You know what I mean? And it brung us a lot of depression. And then of course 2013, another incident happens with the external, where we lose the Fresh Prince that killer did, and that was like I think that was really, I mean all of them were really bad, but that was bad because that's something the world didn't get to experience. You know what I mean? That was an incredible, funny project that the world doesn't know about. It's unsung now, and it's like, wow, just wow, you know. And we tried to recover from that, and slowly we did. Because as you mentioned, 2012, I mean 2013, because that's where we're entering. That's when LT became commissioner. Did a great job. Killer did his second Killer comedy tour, that N words bootleg, yeah, which was met with high critical praise, and you know, it started to slowly come back up again. We had to rebuild, and then the PS3 doesn't work anymore. Yeah. And the messed up thing is, I didn't even get to make myself on 2013. We were having all these classic matches and all this. I didn't even get to make myself. And that's an interesting thing to bring up. You know what I'm saying? 2013, you know, the game was like crazy. I mean, you had the Attitude Era dudes, you had WCW, you had everything that XTV loved, and XTV, the legendary characters, the new characters, you had everybody all in one. You know what I'm saying? And it was just too good to be true. Like, this is not happening. You know what I mean? Like, I felt like 13 XTV was like a super big blessing. It really was. It was like one of the best times, but then the PS3 it just stopped working. From what I remember, Beast's son, Dougie, he was uh he was on the basketball game and the PS3 just cut off, and it didn't work. Yeah, yeah, yo, like I remember prior to this, E had to borrow our PS3, and I remember he had like shoved a video game in the console, and the PS3 used to have this issue. Like I mean, East Coast, y'all can probably remember this, where like sometimes the disc it'll take forever to come out. Like it'll go in and it'll come out when you try to eject it. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I remember like E had did something, like that to it, and this was like 2011. And I think that since that problem was never fixed, I think that it just kind of got exasperated. And on top of that, yo, like we bought the PS3 in 2008, didn't really started using it, you know what I'm saying, for its functions as far as video games until like 2010, because we used to just use the PS3 for shit like, you know, uh, just playing music, like putting music on cassette tapes. That's what we used the PS3 for, yo. That's weird. In like 2010, nigga, we was broke. It ain't weird when you broke. It's normal. Yeah. You sound like Tracy Morgan. Yo, for real, B. It's not real. We look at Hustle Man, B. Yo, trying to hustle me some cassette tapes, B. Only on Jasmar's podcast. Fuck you, yo. You guys are stupid. But nah, man. Yeah, yo, it's just I remember that. You wasn't even there. But anyway, yo, so 2010, I mean, we finally got the video game. Uh, what was that? WWE 10 or WWE 09? You know, SmackDown versus Raw 2010. That's when we started using that bitch. And I think that injury, that little thing that he did, like I think that's what made it eventually stop working over time. And yeah, that was another crash. And then like the check got cut off from somebody. And yeah, it was like bad times again in 2013. So this is where we meet, CC. So like, with all due respect to Trunks and everybody, I mean they know what it is. Like Trunks, I don't think he gonna take this as disrespect, but FNK in 2013 was not doing good. It wasn't doing good. Yeah, it just FNK marks a time, yo. It marks a time for XTV. You know what I mean? It's just where we was and all we had, you know. And we needed new voices. We needed new people that could speak to us. Like Killer at this point was super. He was big. He grew bigger than F and K. You know what I'm saying? Like yeah, that was his stepping stone, but he grew out of that. It's kind of like The Rock. You know what I'm saying? Like yeah, WWE superstar and all that, but he outgrew WWE into his own thing. Dwayne Johnson. You know what I'm saying? And that's just kind of what Killer did. Like he kind of just grew out of it. And with Killer being gone to this mega success, FNK, it's like it's still good, but it just started to fall. You know what I'm saying? In like 2013, it just like I feel like it was worse in 2011, but I think that the ratings was just like they was just so bad, and that's when they were trying to get a new voice at XTV. So they looked at all the young stars. They looked at your boy Jazz, yep, and they looked at J Baby, and me and J Baby was supposed to do a podcast, do well not a podcast, but like a radio show. You know what I'm saying? Cause FNK over now, we the new young dudes. Let's go in. And I think the first episode recorded, but it wasn't that good. And then we got CC, and it was supposed to be me, J Baby, and Seanna. And yo, Jazz is stupid, guys. Like we used to have, we tried to make it work. It just didn't work though. You know what I mean? I don't know what it was. Maybe it can work now though. It make me the female on your podcast. Yeah, yo. I don't know, man, but honestly, even though it didn't work, we had fun, yo, and that's pretty much what me and Sienna first met. That's why we able to like shoot jabs and shit on here because we know each other. You know what I'm saying? Where's that recording now? I don't fucking know. I don't fucking know. B word. You know what I'm saying? I don't know where that shit at, but yeah, that's something that we did. You know what I'm saying? We recorded, and yeah, but that didn't work out, and shit. XTV reached its dark ages, I guess. It was kind of like the sides era. I mean, but yo, one would think, like you said, XTV reached its dark ages, so one would think that FNK would work because FNK worked in the dark ages. Yeah, but it's a different era though. You know what I'm saying? Like, gone was those days of how we felt in 2005. You know what I mean? Like even though the '07 episode's classic, they classic because like when you consider what was happening at that time, you know what I'm saying? And some of those views are still some of those views that we have today. They haven't changed, you know. But at the same time though, it's like some things just work for a time. You know what I mean? And you can't keep being that same person. You got to show a level of maturity, and I think that's what they was looking for. It's like people that's more mature to talk on certain topics. You know what I'm saying? It's like not saying that Trunks and them are immature or anything. It's just that it reached its peak with F and K, in my opinion. It just reached its peak at that point, and it's just like it's nowhere else it could go. You know what I'm saying? Like it was good for the time and it's legendary. You know what I'm saying? In hindsight, but like 2013, I just remember, yo, that shit was just going down and down and down. You know what I mean? It just wasn't the same, yo. It wasn't the same energy. Even Killer came in on some episodes, and like I said, it wasn't the same. You know what I'm saying? And I remember, one particular recording. This was probably at XTV discussions, and like can I add something too? And I hope this isn't shitting on FNK. It's just, I mean, it is just like kind of like talking about the last days of just so people can get an understanding of how just kind of bad it got, yo. I gotta say this though. With FNK, I don't even remember the hell I was gonna say, Mac. Fuck you. I mean, sorry. Fuck you. Damn, yo, I got popped. Yo. I think he turned on by that shit. Let me hook y'all up. Get out of here with that shit. But you will never be dropped dead with a nigga like me. No, I'll never be dropped dead with a N like you. But shit, yo. Hold on. I think that FNK, the guys started to be too critical. I mean, they were acknowledging, because one thing that made it special is they acknowledged where they were at the time. They acknowledged what they were going through in '07, 2008, you know what I mean, and '06 and all of those years. They acknowledged where they were, and they talked about what they were going through. Now, what they were going through in 2013 was their own insecurities. From I'll say '09 to 2013, F and K were just like trunks in them. They were talking about their insecurity, like what they were going through, like, and just saying how, oh, you know, I say you know too much. I do this too much. Just second guessing themselves and just constantly talking about what they're going through. It's like it's cool, but it has to be some positive lead to it. You know what I mean? And it wasn't really comedic anymore. It was just guys bashing themselves when they were better than what they were putting out there. And I did not understand that for the life of me, because again, I'm a fan of this, and I'm hearing F and K, and I love it for what it is, but I'm at a point where it's like, no, my heroes are beating themselves up, and it's unnecessary. Like, no, Trunks, we love you, you know? And it's just all of these things are happening at once. The climate of XTV is changing. Like I mentioned, the incident, the other incident, the PS3 incident, the financial incident, and then F and K, my heroes are beating themselves up. I'm like, what the hell? And I didn't know what else to do, during this XTV blackout. Like Jazz just said, we tried to do our radio show. We had fun. We really had fun, but it just didn't work. You know what I mean? We have chemistry, obviously, but it didn't work. So, shoot. So from 2014 up to now, CC, what have you done? I mean, you know, um, we haven't really seen you. There was times where I was trying to find my niche again, as far as doing, because and it goes back to when I first met Grandpa Joe. He's like, because this is a whole, like, you have to be different. You can, it's so much you can do in XTV. And I didn't I just stuck with one thing. I just stuck with wrestling. You know what I mean? I didn't try different things. Like, yeah, I tried the radio, but there's certain things I should have practiced on. You know what I mean? I should have practiced on being a better radio host. I should have practiced on, what else? I just should have practiced on a lot more than what I practiced on. You know what I mean? Instead of just kind of stay complacent. And I think that's kind of what not necessarily killed me, because I still have an opportunity, and there's been things I've been working on, you know. So it's just, I think that's what kind of just like led me to not be on XTV anymore. And I just used to just do volunteer work, and I just went to take care of animals and do something positive, because that's all I always wanted to represent in XTV. I always wanted to represent positivity, good energy. Again, it goes back to Foxy. Like, that's why I looked up to her so much, because it was fascinating to see somebody with that much positivity. And yes, she had a hill run, but she was able to work that hill run really good and then come back, you know what I mean, a better face than ever. She's able to come back from her hill turns, and that's another criticism Killer gets. He can't come back, and be a face to save his life, but that's because some people don't play that role. Like, Killer's a great heel. You know what I mean? He gets great heat, but I don't know. Maybe it's just the fan of me. Maybe it's just the mark in me of every XTV star. But, yeah, but that's pretty much what I did, guys. I just, you know, stayed away from XTV and tried to do other things until XTV just kind of came out of the darkness, which I prayed and hoped that it would. And eventually, 2016, 2017, and now, well, we'll get into it. Yeah, yo, how did you feel about that uprising? I mean, first the podcast game, and then next thing we get the game, after all these years. It was a great transition. Hearing all these guys tell their stories on Justin's podcast, your podcast, Joe Show, 90. It was great to hear these stories, because it's like being a fan of WWE, you know what I mean? And now seeing that these podcasts are out and seeing what was going on behind the scenes, it's not to be nosy, but it's just it gives you more insight and more information, and it makes some of those moments that you watch that much more special. Those moments with Wells, those moments with ODD or whoever was out at the time. It makes it that much more special because like now the behind the scenes scoop, and it's just like you can watch it with newer eyes, knowing this bit of information about whoever. And I thought that that was so cool about the podcast period in XTV. Give me 1 minute. We back to the PC. But yeah, the whole podcast period was just so awesome, man, and it still is. You know what I mean? Like it hasn't changed, and it's just continuing to rise, and we're starting to see comments on these. It shows you that these podcasts are of importance. You know what I mean? That's why I don't care if we get 4 views or 6 views. It doesn't really matter to me. You know what I mean? Because like those who truly get this will get it, and it's for them. You know what I mean? And that's why I think that this whole thing is very incredible, to hear these stories. And then to transition that to finally Miss Martha, God bless her, like she's in charge, you know what I mean? And, now the game is here. It was amazing. And I think that we're still at a state of shock with the game. It's like people can't believe that we have the game. You know what I mean? I mean, like, we didn't make we still haven't made a lot of people on 19. Killer's the only guy on there, because some of us we still don't believe that. We're still in project mode. Like Miami Beatdown, it's a long project, you know what I mean? And it's like we're still in that mentality where it's like we got to work on something because we don't have the game, and we have the game, but look, we're still working on a project, you know, and that's just a thing to think about, like we don't believe it, we can't believe it. It's still unbelievable that it's here. I haven't made myself. Of course, I want to make myself on there, but like this is where we are, you know what I mean? And then because like it took us this year to do West Side Live. You know what I mean? To great success, and it's like it's so much. It's so much, with XTV right now. That's very special, and I think that it has no choice but to continue to be great. You know what I mean? Because the greats are still here, and new greats are starting to enter the fold. How do you feel about these rookies, though, Sienna? How do you see them? It's incredible. You know, um, Even at the time, Justin was pushing for rookies to have their own show, their own everything. Like Justin used to push this because like it was really hard to be accepted in XTV around the time I came and even probably a little before because like people like Killer and LT and prior to that it was Romy and Payne who would just kind of like go in on you if you weren't good and you didn't get a chance to show your sunshine. You didn't get a chance to show that you're good. You know what I mean? Because you were already beat before even entering the door. So now it's section off. Killer can't come to NXTV. As bad as he wants to beat up Tyrone Andre for whatever reason, he can't. You know what I mean? And I think that's good because it gives these rookies an opportunity to be terrible. You know what I mean? To mess up on their scripts, to get fined. But it's during those times, you know what I mean, where they build. And that's probably my only criticism with some of the guys like Killer and Bob. It's like I sometimes wonder if they don't remember where they come from, if they don't remember their humbling beginnings. It's like you guys, I'm sure you used to mess up. Killer, I'm sure he was at a point where he wasn't that good. Like we even listened to a tape or a recording where Killer was trying to sound like LT, yo, and it backfired big time, yo. Look, yo, we was watching something called TXG Mania rematches. You know what I'm saying? This shit was recorded like 2009, and yo, I don't ever be doing the gay joke shit that Romy and DT do. But yo, Killer needed to call me. This nigga say he was trying to sound like LT because LT was doing his rant on on Moonsault Kid and Bobby. Like Moonsault picked Bobby up. He's like, his little ass, yo. How the hell he gonna let that little man pick him up? And then Killer he chimed in. He said some shit. He like, he picking him up. How is that? Call me. Yo, it was so extra, yo. Yeah, it's just, but again, that's the point where Killer was. It's just still trying to figure it out. And, that's what I'm saying. It's like, that's why it's important to give these rookies a chance to mess up. I mean, but I understand it. That's just the culture of XTV. Make fun of things, you know what I mean? That's not there. Uh, but it is what it is. Make fun of things that aren't there. Shut up before you get smacked again. But yo, Sienna, I mean, do you see yourself coming back, yo? Oh yeah, big time. I was actually looking to come back during the first time we were gonna do NXTV in 2017. But of course, what it happened with it. Rest in peace to Chris the Nightmare Man. Um, you know, I was looking to come back at that time, uh, and seeing what I could do with that. But ultimately, it didn't happen. It is what it is. Sucks. Um, So yeah, I am looking to come back, and my friends, because they were trying to come back too. They were thinking about entering in like 2013 to the roster, but of course, the PS3 incident happens. It's not until 2017 where we finally have the game, and it's something that we're still trying to get used to. Like we're still trying to fathom. We have a game to play to relax ourselves from the hardships of life. But it's a work in progress to have fun, again, because like we're used to working and being constantly busy. I think that's the point though, right there, what you just said, being constantly busy. You know what I mean? It ain't necessarily that, niggas like, oh, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm just super busy. Like like Monster said that we a lot more busier than we used to be. You know what I'm saying? When we worked on projects like Cannon's family and damn all the shit that you see that we worked on. You know what I mean? We got busy. We had so much free time back then. We don't really got that no more. We got to work later on the day. You know what I'm saying? So it's like we busier. So I don't think it's the fact that we just like not wanting to have fun. We ain't got the opportunity to have fun no more because we busier, yo. But I look forward to you coming back, Sienna. I look forward to being back, man. I can't wait. Hopefully I get to fight Foxy in an Iron Man match. Like I mean, because our first match was actually good. I mean, I think it gets outshadowed by Bobby Classic versus 90% in that legendary Iron Man match. But truthfully, I liked our first encounter. At XTV Mania, and maybe it's because of my own personal view of it. Like I remember being there, I remember that crowd, and I remember how I felt. You know what I mean? Being a part of something that defined me. XTV, you know what I mean? It's a beautiful thing, and I look forward to adding more onto this. So you gonna be on the NXTV brand or the WWE, yo? I'm definitely gonna be on NXTV. You know what I mean? I'm XTV for life. So yeah, I'm looking to be on that brand, and to see where that takes me. Well, yo, like I said, I definitely look forward to seeing you on there. What about shit like this? I mean, podcasts, like you said, you've been cooking up some shit. What you working on? You know what I mean? Honestly, guys, you're just gonna have to wait. Oh shit. Um, LT and Killer, you guys are like I love you guys. Man, period. You know, um, you inspired something. Just with how you guys came in with basketball and different sports and not making it just XTV. The way you guys did that really inspired a lot in me. That's why all I can say. It's just wait and you will see. Oh shit. Who knows what that could be, B? You finna bring the first point of XTV? Shut up. Damn, B. She slapped the shit out you. Yo, that was personal. Beat ass, Foxy. But yo, thank you, Seanna. Thanks, Jazz. Until next time, yo. This has been another Jasmar podcast. Peace.